Most riders chase flash, loud pipes, fancy names. But smart riders? They chase something else. Value, durability, and peace of mind. This isn't about bikes that get likes. This is about bikes that get you home safe, again and again. These are the motorcycles you keep for years, pass on to your kids, or sell for nearly what you paid. The ones that prove you made the right call with your wallet and your gut. So if you already ride one, congratulations, you're riding smart, and if not, you might buy one after this video. Number 13, Kawasaki W800. The Kawasaki W800 is the kind of motorcycle that whispers class instead of screaming speed. It looks like it rolled straight out of 1965 and somehow landed in 2025 without aging a single day. But don't let the vintage charm fool you. This bike is quietly brilliant, the kind of brilliance only a smart rider truly notices. The build quality is unreal. Chrome that actually shines, paint that glows like it belongs on a showpiece. ABS, modern brakes, and fuel injection, and are all cleverly hidden inside that classic silhouette. This is not a parts bin special. This is craftsmanship. Every bolt feels intentional. Every detail feels like it was built to last for decades. And here's the part smart buyers really love. This bike is under $10,000 new, but regularly hits the used market for $6,000 to $7,000 in pristine condition. And because it's a Kawasaki, it runs like a watch. Minimal maintenance, zero drama. Just get on and go. For 100,000 miles if you want. A rider once wrote, "The W800 reminds me why I fell in love with motorcycles in the first place. No stress, no ego, just connection." If you want something loud and aggressive, this ain't it. But if you want a bike that makes you smile every time you walk past it in the garage, you're looking at it. Now get ready, because the next one on this list costs even less and somehow gives you a full-blown adventure setup for the price of a scooter. And no one sees it coming. Number 12, Benelli TRK 502. If you've ever dreamed of hitting the open road, loading up some panniers, and disappearing into the mountains without selling your kidney, then you're exactly the kind of rider the Benelli TRK 502 was built for. Because this bike isn't just cheap, it's strategic. It's every bit as capable as mid-weight adventure bikes twice the price. But it comes from a brand that most riders either don't understand or haven't tried yet. Now let's talk price, because this is where the smart people start grinning. A brand new TRK 502 sits around $6,400 MSRP, and some dealers run them even cheaper. That's fully loaded, with handguards, with luggage racks, with styling that looks like it costs thousands more than it does. Is it perfect? No, it's heavy. It's not going to glide over whoops like a KTM 890. But you know what it also won't do? Empty your bank account and break every 6,000 miles. Parts are becoming more available. Support is growing, and the thing is surprisingly well put together. More and more long-distance riders are realizing it's not just good for the price, it's good, period. One owner said, "I rode mine thousands of miles across Europe on this bike. It never missed a beat. I'll never pay double for a badge again." Ready for the twist? Another bike somehow offers similar adventure performance but trades in weight and bulk for effortless agility and one of the longest legacies in off-road reliability history. And its fan base is absolutely obsessed. Number 11. 2025 Suzuki DR 650S. The Suzuki DR 650S is what happens when you stop caring about trends and start caring about what actually works. This bike has been around so long, it remembers when gas was under $2 and phones had buttons. And yet, it's still here. Not because it's pretty, not because it's fast, but because it is ridiculously, unapologetically smart. This bike is powered by a 644cc air-cooled single-cylinder engine that looks like it was carved out of granite. It's carbureted, it's old school, it's not fancy, and that's exactly why it works. There's nothing on it that doesn't need to be there. No electronic rider modes, no TFT screens, just an engine, two wheels, and a frame that can take a beating and keep going like it barely noticed. The DR 650S is a global survivor. It's been used by aid workers in Africa, tourers in Patagonia, and dirt-happy lunatics in Utah who ride these things off cliffs and then pick them up and do it again. It is bomb-proof. Drop it, drown it, freeze it, burn it. It'll cough once, then ask where you want to go next. And the price? That's the punchline. $7,099 MSRP, brand new, and lightly used models, anywhere from $4,500 to $6,500, usually with mods like bigger tanks, upgraded suspension, or racks already included. It's the last of a dying breed, a true dual sport that can do city streets 1 minute and backwoods the next. One rider put it best, it's not the fastest or the sexiest bike, but it's the one I trust with my life when I'm 100 miles from the nearest road. That says everything. If you're nodding along, you're one of us. Subscribe now and ride smarter, longer, and further. Think this was hardcore? The next bike ups the simplicity game even further and somehow manages to run on even fewer parts. It's AR-cooled, ancient, and still one of the smartest buys for riders who just want forever freedom with a side of gravel. Number 10, Honda XR 650L. There are motorcycles that evolve every few years. They get sleek new bodywork, more electronics, rider aids that make coffee while you lean, and then there's the Honda XR 650L, a bike that has stayed practically unchanged for over 30 years. Why? Because it works. This bike is not chasing tech trends. It is tool-like, unkillable, and built for forever. The XR 650L stands tall, literally. Its seat height is no joke. The suspension is long and soft. The bike feels wide and almost goofy in tight spots. But out on trails, on rocky climbs, on muddy back roads far from cell service, this is the bike that just keeps going. You can crash it, flood it, lay it down a dozen times. It shrugs and asks for more. Owners abuse these things and they thank you for it. One longtime rider said, "I've had mine for 22 years. It's been in snow, it's been in Shannon. I've crashed it more times than I can count. I've done 150,000 miles and replaced nothing major. Still starts, still thumps, still makes me smile." And the price? $7,000 brand new in 2025. Or pick up a used one for $4,000 to $6,500, often with upgrades like skid plates, tanks, and racks. And since Honda has barely changed the bike in decades, parts are everywhere and repairs are ridiculously easy. The XR 650L doesn't care what's fashionable. It's not trying to impress your riding group. It's trying to get you through a storm on a mountain road with no service and no backup. It's anti-glamour and pro-freedom. And it does it all with that classic big single heartbeat. And speaking about classics, there is a weird bike. Smaller engine, fatter tires. And somehow it's one of the most beloved motorcycles of all time. Ready to meet the strangest smart buy on two wheels? Number 9, Yamaha TWW200. At first glance, the Yamaha TWW200 looks like a toy. A chubby little thing with absurdly fat tires, a teeny 196cc engine, and retro styling that feels like it came out of a vintage catalog. But smart riders, they don't laugh, they nod. Because they know this thing is a survival tool with handlebars. This bike has been in production since the 1980s with minimal changes. And that's because Yamaha built it right the first time. The air-cooled single-cylinder engine is simple. It's not fast, it's not exciting, but it is bulletproof. You can leave it parked for 6 months, kick it once, and it will wake up like nothing happened. It sips fuel, climbs hills like a goat, and will cruise around all day without complaint. TW200 owners are a different breed. One rider said, "I've owned everything from Harleys to sport bikes, but my TW is the one I'll never sell. It's slow, it's goofy, and it's the most fun I've had on two wheels." Another said, "I used mine as a ranch bike, dropped it in a river once, pulled it out, rode it home. And the price? Brand new, it'll cost you around $5,000, and used ones go from $3,000 to $4,500. Maintenance? Almost non-existent. Insurance? Dirt cheap. It's the smartest purchase if you want a bike that costs almost nothing and gives you endless utility. But if you think this little oddball is smart, wait till you meet the next bike." Number 8, BMW F700 GS. When most people think of BMW adventure bikes, they imagine the giant 1250 GS with a dashboard that looks like a spaceship and a price tag that feels like a mortgage. But smart riders dig deeper. They know about the BMW F700 GS, a bike that doesn't shout, doesn't flex, and doesn't need to, because this bike is quietly brilliant in every way that actually matters. This motorcycle is often misunderstood. First of all, the 700 badge is a lie. It's actually powered by a 798cc parallel twin engine, the same basic platform as its bigger F800 siblings, just tuned a little differently. That means you get torque for days, highway power, and an engine that's been proven over hundreds of thousands of miles. It's smoother than you expect, lighter than it looks. And for riders under 6 feet tall, the lower seat height makes it an absolute joy to handle, both on-road and light off-road. This thing is what happens when German engineering decides to make something practical instead of pretentious. Newer F750 GS models are way more expensive and loaded with electronics. But the F700 GS, especially used, is what smart money buys. Prices range from $4,500 to $7,000 depending on mileage and extras, and you can often find them with crash bars, side panniers, tall windscreens, and heated grips already installed. Jeremy from New Jersey said, "I took my F700 GS across 5 countries. Never once felt like I needed more bike. It just handled everything. Gravel, rain, traffic, no stress, just smiles. You want a premium feel without the premium headache? This is it. The F700 GS is what happens when someone buys a BMW for riding, not for Instagram." Now brace yourself, because there is a better bike on this list that cranks the off-road IQ. It's not just smart, it's downright savage in the dirt and sneaky brilliant on pavement too. And it's hiding behind a badge that usually screams performance. Number 7, KTM 690 Enduro R. The KTM 690 Enduro R sounds like a wild machine meant for aggressive riders who wear dirt on their teeth and call broken bones souvenirs. But for the savvy rider who understands both performance and longevity, this bike is not just a thrill machine. It's a smart, long-term investment, hiding behind orange plastics and pure attitude. And now, the smart part. Used pricing. While brand new Swadel hover above $12,000, clean used 690s from just a few years back can be found for $7,000 to $8,000, depending on mileage and setup. And guess what? KTM fans take care of their bikes. You're often getting one loaded with high-end extras, skid plates, handguards, racks, custom mapping, the whole deal. A guy named Scott once said, "I've had mine for over 80,000 miles. Trails, tarmac, high elevation, river crossings. It just doesn't quit. Regular maintenance and it'll outlast your knees." Sure, KTM's reputation for being a little high-strung might scare off some riders. But the 690 Enduro R, it's the exception. It's built tough, it's tuned smart, and it's earned every mile of its cult following. But hold tight, the next motorcycle flips the script again. It's low-tech, low-power, and low-cost. And somehow it might be the smartest urban bike in the entire world. Think you're too cool for it? Think again. Number 6, Royal Enfield Scram 411. The Royal Enfield Scram 411 is not your average commuter. It looks different, it feels different, and most importantly, it rides different. While other manufacturers are busy stuffing 10 computers into a bike, Royal Enfield took a step back and built something simple, strong, and smarter than it looks. This motorcycle takes that adventure DNA and brings it to the streets. It has smaller front wheels than the Himalayan, slightly more urban-focused geometry, and a more playful stance. It's light enough to throw around, yet stable enough to handle potholes and dirt roads without blinking. Whether you're commuting, weekend cruising, or just learning the ropes, this thing is a confidence machine. And then we get to the price. Brand new, this bike is around $5,000. Yes, really, that's less than many scooters. Used ones? Even cheaper, usually $4,500 for clean, low-mileage examples. That's insane value for a bike that looks this good and feels planted. One rider said, "I bought it to ride to work. I ended up riding it across the country. I had zero mechanical issues and people kept stopping to ask what it was." It's easy to maintain, parts are available and cheap, and there's a growing mod community obsessed with turning these into custom beasts. Sure, it might not win races, but it'll win your heart at every fuel stop. Do you think that's impressive? Wait till you see the next bike. It takes fun, flickable handling to another level and somehow makes super moto performance affordable to riders with normal wallets. You're going to want to sit down for this one. Number 5. Kawasaki KLX300 Supermoto. If you've ever dreamed of being a stunt rider, sliding through corners, lifting the front wheel in second gear, and carving city streets like a racetrack, but you also want something reliable, fuel-efficient, and cheap, then the Kawasaki KLX300 Supermoto is your new best friend. It may look wild, but this machine is a calculated masterpiece for the everyday rebel. But the real magic? It weighs just under 300 pounds, fully fueled. That means it feels like a bicycle with a rocket strapped to it. You can lean it, flick it, and toss it around like it owes you money. Yet it's also mellow enough to be a first bike, with a smooth clutch, forgiving power band, and surprisingly comfortable ride for a supermoto. And the price? That's where it punches above its weight. Brand new is about $5,900. Let that sink in. A bike that looks this badass, performs this well, and weighs less than your average gym bro, all for under $6,000. Used models often sit around $4,500 to $5,000, depending on miles and mods. One city rider said, "I haven't driven my car in 6 months. This thing is just too fun. It turns every boring errand into a highlight reel. You'll get ridiculous fuel economy, ultra-low maintenance, and a chassis that begs you to misbehave, responsibly, of course. It's the kind of bike that keeps seasoned riders entertained but won't punish new riders trying to figure things out. Think this is the peak of budget brilliance? Just wait. There is one even more affordable and built by a brand that's been sneaking up the quality ladder faster than anyone expected. And it looks like a $10,000 bike from 20 feet away. Number 4. CF Moto 350 NK. Let's get one thing out of the way. If you're turning your nose up just because this bike doesn't say Honda or Yamaha on the tank, then you're about to miss out on one of the smartest buys of the decade. The CF Moto 350 Sim Inc. is the kind of bike that makes you check the price tag twice, then check it again, because it feels like someone made a typo. This machine is built with style, substance, and shockingly good components for its price point. At the core is a 349cc single-cylinder engine, liquid-cooled and fuel-injected, with a smooth power delivery that's perfect for new riders, urban explorers, and even commuters who want something more exciting than a scooter. It's not blisteringly fast, but it is balanced, quick to respond, and surprisingly refined. Now look at what it comes with. LED lighting, TFT display, upside-down front forks, disc brakes front and rear, Bosch fuel injection. Are we still talking about a bike that costs under $5,000? Yes. In fact, most dealers list the CF Moto 350 buying around $4,500. Brand new. That is absurd value. It doesn't just ride well, it looks sharp enough to turn heads. With bold lines and aggressive street fighter styling, it gives off $10,000 energy from 20 feet away. This is the bike that makes people ask, wait, how much was that again? And reliability? CF Moto has been making engines for KTM and refining their lineup year after year. Riders who've owned the 350 NK report solid build quality, minimal issues, and a surprising amount of aftermarket support. Hear what Jake thinks about this beast. I bought it to save money. I kept it because I fell in love. It does everything I need and it looks like it costs twice as much. So yeah, smart riders are paying attention. Ready for something built to go the distance without going broke? Number 3, SimWolf 300. Now here's one they never see coming. The SimWolf 300 doesn't show up in flashy advertisements. It doesn't dominate YouTube comparisons. But real riders who've owned one, they'll tell you this little beast is a diamond hiding in plain sight, and one of the smartest budget bikes you can throw a leg over in the modern market. But here's the kicker. It costs just under $4,500 brand new. You read that right, a full-size motorcycle with modern features, slick design, and real commuter practicality for what some brands charge for a set of panniers. Used examples go as low as $3,000, and they're usually barely broken in. Riders who've owned the Wolf rave about its bulletproof engine, low maintenance costs, and how fun it is to ride even after years of ownership. One longtime owner said, "I got it because it was cheap. I kept it because it's just that good. It's never let me down." And the fuel economy? Over 80 miles per gallon. You'll be waving at gas stations as you fly past them. If you want a sleeper bike that delivers real value, big character, and zero financial regrets, this is one the smart ones buy before the rest of the world catches on. But stay sharp. The next motorcycle blends reliability, comfort, and scooter-like practicality in a way no one expects. It's proof that smart riders don't follow trends, they break them. Number 2. Yamaha YS125. You want to talk smart motorcycle purchases? Let's talk about a bike that's been trusted by millions around the world, gets over 100 miles per gallon, and still manages to feel like a full-size motorcycle without destroying your wallet. That's the Yamaha YS125Z. And yes, it's not flashy, but it is gloriously practical. Need proof? This bike is used around the globe for postal delivery, police patrols, food couriers, and everything in between. In developing countries, it's considered a lifeline. Mechanics praise it for its simple layout, low-cost repairs, and how you can get parts for it almost anywhere on Earth. And the price? Brand new models are often under $2,800, depending on the region. Used? You'll find them in solid condition for $1,500 to $2,000. And many of them have over 50,000 miles on the clock without a hiccup. One delivery rider said, "I ride over 100 miles every day. It's been 4 years. Nothing major has gone wrong. I just clean the air filter and change oil. That's it." If you're a commuter, student, or just someone who wants a no-nonsense, honest, forever bike, this is it. It may not be sexy, but it will outlast your sport bike dreams and cost you less than your coffee habit. But don't think we're done. This final bike is it. It's another Yamaha, but it's got enough dual sport DNA to climb a mountain and then ride home like nothing happened. Ready for a budget beast that lives in the dirt but thrives in the city? Let's go. Number 1. Yamaha XT250. And no, it's not a flashy superbike. It doesn't have ride modes, TFT screens, or a Bluetooth app that tells you your tire pressure. What it does have is a reputation for being indestructible, a price that'll make your wallet breathe a sigh of relief, and the kind of everyday usability that makes it the smartest bike money can buy. How efficient? Try over 70 miles per gallon. You'll fill up once and forget what gas stations even look like. And the handling? This thing is a featherweight dual sport champion. Weighing just a little over 290 pounds, it's light, flickable, and obedient. Whether you're carving through back roads, bouncing through trails, or crawling through traffic. Seat height? Manageable. Suspension? Surprisingly capable. And that upright riding position? Chef's kiss for all-day comfort. Price? Prepare to fall in love. Brand new, you're looking at around $5,500. Solid examples go for $3,500 to $4,500, and they'll often come with racks, hand guards, and stories. And the stories are what matter. I bought mine 10 years ago with 8,000 miles. Now it has 52,000. Still starts first push, still rides like day one. I've never replaced anything but oil and tires. The XT250 isn't just a motorcycle, it's a tool, a companion, a ticket to freedom that asks for nothing but a bit of S and a sense of adventure. It's what happens when a manufacturer builds something to last and refuses to ruin it with unnecessary gimmicks. So if you want a bike that goes everywhere and lasts forever, this is it. Hey, don't forget to click on the video coming up your screen right now. Which of these motorcycles caught your attention? Let us know in the comments below.